Creatively Random. If you're already a part of the family, welcome back. And this is your first time listening, we're excited to have you. This is the podcast for people with endless interest. Today, we're interested in whether you should buy an electric car. We're interested in, is Google Chrome dead? We're interested in digital cameras going up in price. And we're interested in Disney giving up.
That's it. The good stuff.
Some of those might be clickbait, but stick around because there's some good topics today. But before we get into any of them, I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
Kind of a surprise. You know that it's a surprise, but it's a surprise taste test. I've got something that I found last week in a shop, and I was like, I tried it. I've had it, but I haven't had this flavor. There's a little hint.
Okay.
So I've had one of the flavors, but I bought a few flavors, and we should try them together.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Okay. Audio listeners, I'm pulling out a bag. You can hear the bag, maybe. And video listeners, watchers, there's the bag. Okay. Don't open your eyes yet. Keep them closed for 1 second. This is, I will say, I'm looking at my producer and she's confused. You know what this is? Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. All right, it's a surprise for Michael, but it's very popular with the youths of today. And I will say the one that I had was very sweet. Okay, open your eyes.
Oh, okay.
Have you tried this before?
No.
Okay. Are you willing?
Yeah, of course. I don't even know what it is. I've seen it around and
So this is KSI and Logan Paul's drink.
That's it.
It's like a Gatorade substitute.
Yeah.
Well, not substitute. They probably wouldn't argue with that. But it's called Prime. And it was like super hard to get.
Like it's sold
really,
out or
really
just
expensive. Like
right.
I think like a 12 pack or like a 24 pack of them was like $90 or something. 90 US or something. I remember one of the guys that we play basketball with, Jerry, he bought a big case for like $90 for 24 of them. Anyway, I've had the blue one and the green one.
Blue raspberry and lemon lime.
Which one do you want to try?
Oh, I'm easy.
We can both try this one. This one's called Ice Pop.
Yeah. Send it. Thank you.
Hydration, Prime Hydration.
So it's essentially a Gatorade.
Yeah, so it says serving suggestions. Consume one bottle pre or post workout. Filming this podcast is a bit of work.
Yeah, are we going to be buzzing or?
Consume no more than one bottle per day. That's not good. Ingredients: water, number one ingredient. That's good. Only 20 calories though per serve. I assume this is one serve. Yeah.
Serving size, one bottle.
Cool.
Pretty obvious. Pretty obvious.
All right. Get that ASMR going. There's no fears. It's oh, that would have felt.
You would have heard that one.
Nice. Ooh. All right. Cheers, virtual
cheers.
Oh Lord.
Did we say it's ice pop flavor?
Oh. It's so sweet.
It's very sweet.
How is it so sweet? There's not even that much sugar in it.
Tastes like some sort of berry.
There's only 1 gram of sugar in it.
Is it all natural sugars or none at all?
No, there's some acids and colors in there for sure.
Fruit juice from concentrate.
Honestly, that's probably the worst flavor I tried. I reckon you should try this.
That's
the blue
interesting.
raspberry is pretty good, and then the lemon limes kind of taste like flat Sprite, which is a good thing, I think.
Should we shake these? Is that what?
All the stuff's in the bottom.
Is it?
No, I don't think so.
Is it that type of drink?
I don't think that. I think it just sucks. I probably will keep drinking it for the rest of the episode, though, if I'm being honest. Because
I'll taste test them, but I probably won't keep drinking them. Blue raspberry next for me.
Better or worse?
Better. Definitely better.
Good to know. Good to know.
It's the initial flavor tastes the same. It's the after taste, the lingering taste is the raspberry.
I think that initial flavor is like the chemicals just in your tongue, and then it kind of
that's it. So it's all the same stuff plus a little flavor. I feel like Are we sponsored? Should we take this off the table?
Yeah, we don't need to give Logan or KSI any more
Clout.
clout. That's it. Going back in the Woolworths bag.
Very interesting. For how much a bottle?
Too much, but $5.40 is what I paid, and I think they were on special. I don't know why I bought so many of them.
I just don't know what's. I don't know. I just don't feel the energy. You know?
Well, it's not energy drink; it's hydration.
Yeah. So what? Before a workout, it's like a pre-workout drink.
Yeah, I guess in the same, like if you'd play a sport and then you drink a Gatorade, I guess you could drink a Prime. I think they do have like a energy version of the drink as well.
Is there any creatine or anything in that?
No,
Is it just all pre-workout? It's
no
just
I think this one has no caffeine in it or anything. Not suitable for
100%.
children or pregnant women. Not a sole source of nutrition.
I don't know. Yeah, if you're drinking that as a meal, there's something you need to look at.
Get some help.
All right. Well, thanks for that. That was different.
Experience, yeah.
An experience, a surprise taste test. We'll see what we can bring next week. Maybe there's something else.
Yeah.
Or next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Question I have for you, which I think was one of the first topics we thought of for this.
Hit me.
Electric cars. You own one and have owned one for about 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
What is your review? Like, they're everywhere now. I see them all the time.
Yes.
Not just the model that you have, but others. And I see it a lot online, other YouTubes reviewing them. But what are your thoughts in Australia, in Sydney, with an electric car?
Yeah. Okay. Good question. So I have my model. It's a MG ZS EV. So
Mouthful.
It's a mouthful. But yeah, you're right. I see them all the time as well. Mostly, I think Teslas. I see a lot of Teslas. I see a lot of Polestars.
Yep.
Polestars, Volvo's brand, and then I see a lot of. Actually, I don't see a lot of my car, but I see a mix of then my car, a Hyundai Ioniq 5, and the Kia EV6.
I've seen less of the Kia, but yeah, I've seen a couple.
I haven't seen heaps of those, and to be honest, when we were looking originally, we went to Kia first because I really like the look of the EV6.
Yeah,
I didn't think we could have afforded one anyway, but you have to wait 3-4 years to get one. So even if you order one now, you don't get it for like 4 years, which seems crazy to me because I have a feeling that there'll be a new car out by then anyway. So
if not multiple,
you'd feel pretty annoyed if you'd order a car and then like it arrives and it's like 3 years ago's model.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was weird. But what's it been like owning an electric car? It's been good. It's really nice to drive. It's cheaper to run, obviously. Servicing is cheaper. And we've only owned it for 6 months, so we've never had it serviced yet. But based on the prices we were given when we bought it, the servicing's about the same cost, but it's double the kilometers and distance.
Right.
So instead of getting your car serviced every year, for our car at least, and I think most electric cars, you only have to do it every 2 years.
Wow.
Or 20,000 kilometers, depending on how much you drive.
Yeah.
So all things considered, that's like half the cost on servicing. And then fuel is quite expensive at the moment. At the moment, it's like roughly $2 a litre here in Australia.
I filled up for $2.50.
Whoa.
I did not fill the tank.
Holy moly. Where was that?
That was back home. So Blue Mountains up that way.
Jeepers.
But that was on, I want to say Sunday. So yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just
that's
ludicrous.
Rough.
So I put like $30 in or something.
Okay, so like let's say minimum it's $2 at the moment. I think some places you're still found for like $1.96 or something, but feels expensive. Electricity is going up in price still as well, but it's still cheaper than fuel for the most part for our use case.
Yeah.
When we first had it for the first like 4 months, we didn't have a power point. We live in an apartment block, and we have like a garage, like a communal garage, and we have spots in the garage. Oh, the Prime's getting to me. We didn't have a car charge, like a power point in the garage, right? And usually the way you do it is you just kind of slowly trickle charge it overnight.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, in the first 4 months of owning the car, we would just go to a shopping center for like 2 hours every week at some point, whether it was like late at night or like on a Sunday we go and have lunch or something, and just at the time. and just charge the car in the fast charger.
Yeah.
And for 2 hours, it would be like basically 0 to like 90 something %. And that would get us through the next week.
Yeah. Wow.
So we just did that once a week. And that cost about $15
For the charge.
to fully charge the car.
Because that was something I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Do you pay for the charging, the public charges, and how much is it? Yeah.
So there are free charges. There's some free charges, not a lot of them, but they're all like really slow. The free ones are like 12 kilowatt hour or something, like really, really slow. Like
Wow.
you can leave your car there for like a while and it will go up, but you couldn't rely on free ones sustainably if you had a job to charge your car, unless it was somewhere like near work where you could like plug in. But a lot of the free charges you have to pay for parking. Some of them,
at the shopping center or wherever it is.
Yeah, and the ones at the shopping centers, they usually have like fast chargers, and then they have the free chargers, which are like 22 kilowatts, which is pretty good. And you can go and just leave your car there, and it might go up like 10 or 15% while you're in the shops for like an hour or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to find them because everyone's trying to get the free ones. And it's slow. So if you've got plenty of time or you're not in a rush to like get your car charged, then sure, you could probably just like go around and charge your car completely for free. But I think if you're trying to live your life also, it's pretty hard to do that.
Yeah. What is it like in terms of finding those chargers? Are they like, is it densely populated in
it's actually pretty good. So Tesla obviously has a pretty big network of chargers. Even in Australia, it's pretty good, Tesla's network. But for other cars, there's a couple of different like charging types. So in Australia, there's CCS, which is like my car's CCS. Most of the cars are CCS, except for Teslas are like a special one. So if you go to a Tesla charger, their charger won't fit in any other EV car.
Right.
But you can adapt CCS plug to use a Tesla. So you can charge a Tesla at anything basically. Yeah. But you can't charge anything at a Tesla.
Right.
The whole
does the Tesla
every thumb's a finger, not every finger's a thumb kind of vibe.
Does the Tesla come with that adapter, or is it the charger itself comes?
Yeah, I think the Teslas come with that adapter. So our car's CCS, and there's apps. So in Australia, like there's a ChargeFox app, there's a PlugShare app, there's an EVIE app, and they're all like separate networks that people have built out. PlugShare should show all of them, but it doesn't always. And then you can just look through. Google Maps is like starting to show where specific chargers are, which is handy.
That's good.
But then you can just open the apps and like search where you're going, and it will show you where the closest charger is around you. I know most cars, and the Teslas are really good at this. Like you can put in your destination on the maps, the navs, and then you can it'll say you have this much charge. Yes, you'll make it. No, you won't. You'll have to stop here. Like if you're doing a long distance thing.
Yeah.
You have to stop at this charger on your way and charge up for a few hours and then keep going, or like an hour or something.
Is it pretty accurate to like?
Yeah, as far as I know, Tesla's is pretty good. Our car doesn't have that feature, or if it does have like EV chargers on the navigation system. But to be honest, we just use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay for most of the nav stuff because their software is okay, but it still kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to find chargers, and to be honest, I think most people will find one near them, like near their place, and then we'll just use that one the most frequently, or a few near them, like maybe if some are booked out or unavailable, whatever, for some reason, they might go to the other one. The good thing about the apps too is usually you can tell whether they're being used at the time or not. So if you're like on the way to the shops and you're like, oh, I'm going to charge a car, and you're making a decision whether you should go because you need to charge a car or not, you can actually check the app and see whether it's available.
Right.
That being said, you could, by the time you get there, someone could have come out and left, and then it could be available.
Yeah.
But at least you have a good idea of whether it's like busy or not. So.
It's real time. For the most part.
Yeah, it's pretty quick actually. Yeah.
That's really cool. Huh. And looking at your electricity bill for the home charging side of things, which you say you don't do too often, or too much. Yeah. Is it a massive draw?
So I never finished that story actually. So the first 4 months of having the car, we didn't have a plug. We then got an electrician to install a plug that's connected to our apartment's meter in our car park. So now we can trickle charge the car overnight just at home. And since we've had that installed, we have never gone and charged it at a shopping center.
So it's cheaper or just easier? Like it does.
It's way easier. You don't have to like
go anywhere.
Plan to go to the shops to charge your car. And I think it is cheaper, but it's way slower. So like if you don't properly plan, you can't just like quickly plug it in and then have some charge and go. Like if you need the
Yeah.
kilometers, like there's still a little bit of thinking. And I think that's probably the learning curve of having an electric car is like just having to remembering to plan to make sure if you need extra kilometers, you have to do more planning.
Yeah.
Like our car does 320 kilometers to a full charge,
Yeah.
which is not a lot. Like
No.
it sounds like a lot, but like a normal car might do 400 kilometers on a tank of fuel,
Yeah, if not more. Like I think
maybe more.
ours isn't a massive tank, but
Mm.
I think we can get like 550 out of it.
Yeah. And there is like an eco mode in the electric
Mm.
car, which like reduces your acceleration, and it's still quick, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's eco. And that it brings it up to like 350. So it does give you a little bit more.
Boost.
And I think that's what they rate it for. Like if you go and look at all the advertising for it, it says like 350 kilometers on a charge. But it's like if you want to just drive normally, it's actually like closer to 300, 320.
Yeah.
As long as you plan, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like if we know we're going to drive to the Blue Mountains to see you guys, we can take the electric car and not worry about it. But if we don't plug it in the night before and we wake up, it's on 50%, we would still probably be able to make it, but
Yeah.
we'd be worried.
Yeah.
So I
You
think
should
that's
make it, but yes, it would
Yeah.
be dicey.
Yeah, that's right. Like we'd still be fine. And you have to consider things like hill. I mean, same with a fuel, like same with a petrol car. If you're going 100 kilometers on a straight flat road with no corners, then that whatever the manufacturer gives you is probably accurate. If you're going 100 kilometers up and down hills and around corners, and it's probably like closer to like 80 kilometers of actual range you get out of 100 kilometers of range. So going to somewhere like the Blue Mountains where it's like up big hills for a long period of time, like steadily inclining, you're using a lot more acceleration in the car to get up the hill than you
A
would
lot
be
more charge or
for the
battery.
same distance on a flat road. So, but then again, you're also driving on a motorway consistently at a single speed for a good amount of that time. So then you could be saving, same as a normal car, but you just can't stop at a petrol station and fill up your car in 5 minutes and then keep going.
Yeah.
You just get stuck on the side of the road.
You're in trouble.
Or you have to like sleep over at a friend's house and hopefully you remember to bring a charger and plug your car in.
Yeah.
So
Right. So it's really interesting that it's similar, like draw to like a petrol car, similar range, all of that sort of stuff. So what do you think are some pros to like having it? Because you had petrol cars before. You still have a petrol car, but you have the EV.
Yeah.
What's the
pros? I think the pro is the drive is really nice. I don't think it's really hard to explain to people how nice it is to drive an electric car until you've driven one or at least been in one. Like the not having the engine noise, the whole concept of like getting in the car and turning it on and nothing changes is really weird. Even still, like 6 months down the road, usually my wife drives the electric car and then I still drive a petrol car, and it's only because she drives further, so it's more economical.
Yeah.
But whenever we drive on the weekends and I drive, I like turn the car on and I'm like, it feels weird that nothing happened, nothing changed. Like there's no engine started. And even still, like I'll turn the car on and then I'll be like, oh, you can turn the car on. I'm like, it's on. She's like, whoa. So it's still a bit mind blowing, but I think the pros are the driving experience is really nice. It is cheaper to run generally. That being said, they do cost more. There's a lot of like trade-offs of like, I think here's a better question. Would I only have an electric car? Like, because at the moment we have, yes, an electric and also a petrol car. In 2023, would I only have an electric car? No, because it's not reliable enough.
Yeah.
Like if we wanted to go to Newcastle or, Wollongong or even further, like our family on the Gold Coast, if we wanted to drive to the Gold Coast, would not do it in our car. Maybe if we had a Tesla, which are $50,000 more expensive than the car we bought, maybe if we had a Tesla, we could do it because they charge quickly and they have more range, and they have a network that like is pretty reliable. No, I wouldn't have just electric cars,
especially for those longer distances.
Yeah.
If you were to live just in and like everything that you needed was contained within city of Sydney.
As a city car, absolutely, yeah. If you knew you would never, if you hated road tripping, and hated driving for long distances, get an electric car.
Yeah.
Invest the money because you might spend $10,000-$15,000 more than the equivalent petrol version now. But I think I did the maths. Like in the 5 years that you might own that car for, you will save that money. You get that money back. Like it's worth investing if you can at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. It's something we've talked about, my fiance and I, we've talked about one day owning an electric car just because we like them. We like to look at them.
Yeah.
Same thing. We've been in yours. It's very nice. And yeah, the drive is something
It's just smooth.
you just don't understand it until you've like sat in one and been in one.
Mm.
But yeah, it's like any other car. It's very just peaceful.
Yeah, it is nice. And I think on the topic of electric cars, I saw a good ad this week.
Mm.
I don't know if you've heard of the show I Think You Should Leave. It's got Tim Robbins. It's a Netflix like comedy sketch show.
Oh yes, yeah.
You've heard of it?
Mm.
You would have probably, if you haven't watched that show, you would have seen like Instagram stuff, reels and things come up all the time.
You would have seen his face somewhere. He's been really.
There's like a very famous, it's like a viral reel that went viral of like him going through a drive-through and then he pays for the person's order behind him, and then he tries to like quickly race around to get in there so that the person that he paid for will pay for his order.
Yeah.
And he orders like everything on the menu. Anyway, there's an ad that they made in partnership with the show for the electric Dodge Ram. And the only reason this is relevant is because it's an electric car.
Yeah.
But it's very funny. I'll put the link in the description, but it's hilarious. Like, it's just him like doing really dumb stuff, and then they kind of like make the comparison of like, why would you do that when you could do this kind of thing? But
yeah,
it's funny. You should watch it.
Yeah, we'll look at it.
All right, so Google Chrome has been my browser of choice for many years.
Same.
I love it. Microsoft Edge can go get stuffed.
It's the
and
worst.
Safari sucks.
I only use that on my phone.
Safari?
Yeah.
Really? You opt for Safari over Chrome on your phone?
It's just a
This is not the
little
topic, but
easier. Easier on iPhone, yeah.
That's fair.
And it
Specifically
runs a
designed
bit
for
better,
iPhone,
yeah.
so that makes sense. There's a new player in the game.
Yes.
It's currently out publicly for the world to sample.
We're making this a big thing because it wasn't.
Yeah, sorry, I should
couple of
clarify.
weeks ago.
Yeah, it was. We've been both using it, but it's been in beta, which is not like, oh, you guys are super special. It was like invite only, and I knew somebody who invited me.
And I was invited by someone as well.
And then did I invite you, or you got invited by someone else?
No, I got invited by John.
Oh, that's who. Yeah,
Yeah,
John
so we
invited
got
both of us.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, because at the time during the beta, you get an invite every day, so you could invite like a new person every day if you wanted to. I'm a huge. John knew this.
Yeah.
I'm a huge browser nerd. I love computer stuff. Like I love tech. So when he's like, "Oh, there's a new browser," I was like, "Oh, here we go." Like, Opera tried to do this already. Firefox already gave it a go. But I downloaded it. It's called Arc by the browser company, and it's actually really good. And like it's very different. There's a steep learning curve to using it, I think, is how I would put it. But once you set it up and you're using it, I think it's like almost the perfectest browser I've ever used in terms for me.
Yeah.
It might not be the case for everyone. And I know that you tried to use it initially, or you did use it initially, and then you. Yeah. I'm not going to use the words chickened out, but
yeah, no, I can explain what happened.
Yeah.
But I did try it, and it was great. Like I backed that. Like it's definitely a steep learning curve because it's a different layout, and the way it does things is different to any other browser. And I used it for probably like a solid month, and then it was. I think I was a little concerned for security purposes.
Sure.
Any crossover with my work stuff, I didn't want anything to get.
Yeah.
Just in the beta stages of it all. So
Yeah.
I was just cautious, and then I kept my account because the way it works is you create an account and then you can use it. I guess same as Chrome, you have a profile.
Yeah.
And yeah, I picked it up again recently and have been using it, but it's been.
Have you felt like your experience the second time around has been different, better, different?
There's little things I've noticed that have changed in a good way.
Yeah.
But nothing. I haven't spent enough time in it to find all the little nuances of it.
Yeah.
I think with this browser, it's with Arc, there's so many things you will not know, like are features
Heaps
or
of
are
features you'll
things
never
in
use.
this.
Yeah.
Like when you're on a YouTube video, if you're just on YouTube, watching a video and you want to go to another tab, Arc automatically pops that window out and it just sits wherever you want it.
You just
You
drag
drag
it
it around, you
resize it,
resize it, you can
play and
pause,
pause
you can
on
go
there.
back
Yeah.
just in this little hovering YouTube window, and
Mhm.
it's very clean.
Mhm.
There's no title. Like, it's just the video is
Yeah.
hovering above whatever you're doing.
Yeah, with like nice rounded corners. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I think that was the thing that kept me initially because, yeah, I was a bit concerned about this company that I've never heard of
Yeah.
before. And like, I'm logging into like my bank and stuff on there. So, like, for like the first few months, I just like did all that still in Chrome.
Mm.
And I don't know why I have so much trust for Google,
Yeah.
but they've earned it, I guess. But yeah, the thing that kept me coming back to it was like the design and how like user friendly it was to navigate things,
Mm.
and even tabs at the top of your thing makes sense because it's like maximizing your screen space.
Mm.
But it actually is kind of annoying because if you have too many tabs open, you can't even see them anymore. They're just like tiny little windows.
Yeah.
So the way I should also clarify, Arc doesn't do tabs at the top. It just does. It has a sidebar, and then it has like a favorite section essentially at the top, and then every tab you open just like will stack down a sidebar, and you can create folders in there and everything. But yeah, there's heaps of features. Like there's an easel thing that I don't think I've ever even used.
No, but I heard
But
it.
you can like save images to an easel straight away, and then that's inside Arc, and you can like write on them and save.
It's like your own mood board,
already
sketchpad
inside Arc.
right there.
I really like the way they do downloads. Like there's a download section that's just quick and easy to get to.
I don't think I've actually
Haven't
downloaded
downloaded
anything, so I need to look into
It's all like it's all over on the left. Like even media, it'll display like a media page, and it would just show you like all the images that you've downloaded as images rather than as file names and text.
That's cool.
Which you can do in Finder in your downloads folder.
Yeah.
But having it all in like the one place is awesome. And I think the other thing that was really great is that it's very community driven. As like it feels like that at the moment. And maybe that's because it has been in beta, and that might change now that's actually publicly out. But I feel like they've done a good job of like listening to people's feedback and then implementing it. So then the next update happens and they'll be like, oh, we've done this, and thanks to, this person and that person for pointing it out or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I like because it's like they're actually listening to people's feedback and making changes rather than just like, this is the thing that we made and just deal with it if you don't like it.
Yeah. No, I feel like they're very open to everything. Even there's plenty of videos where I think the CEO
he does like
the browser
YouTube
company
stuff all the time.
Yeah, he's just like engaging with the audience, the customers, so which is great. But yeah, it's something like the sidebar is, like you said, it's very customizable. You can make it as wide or as narrow as you like.
Yeah.
Change the colors like you can. I think you can change the colors more freely in this than any other browser that I've seen.
Yeah.
So if you want a hot pink browser,
yeah, you can.
You can do that. If you want, dark mode, you can have that. You can customize all of that. Something I love is the shortcuts. Like I know you can Command T in Chrome, make a new tab, all that sort of stuff. But I think there's a lot more in Arc.
Yeah.
Like there's a huge list of things that you can just do with very quick commands once you know them.
Yeah. And they make the settings, the shortcuts, like really quite easy to jump in and change. It almost feels like a video game changing like controls in a video game rather than it being like kind of like a complicated menu. It's very like, that's the shortcut for it. If you want to change it, just click on it and punch your own one in and then it's done.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. There's also like another feature that they just introduced called Boost. I think it's called Boost. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. If it's not called Boost, there'll be text here that says something else. But it's essentially like you can actually edit. They've found a way for the browser to like adjust the actual HTML and the styling of the website. So like when you're on, Spotify or whatever, if you want all the text to be pink and the background to be light gray, horrible combination of colors,
don't do
by
that.
the way. Do not do that. But if that's what you wanted, you can actually go in and like edit all the elements on that page individually and like change the colors and get rid of whole sections. Like if you don't want to show the album art, you can just get rid of the whole section. Like
that's so cool.
Which I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, I don't know how they're working with all these different websites because I think that was in beta.
Yeah, it was.
But it was maybe it was a bit, it was still in work in progress.
Yeah, and I don't know if it works with every website.
Yeah, I think it's
Or if
like
it's like,
major websites, but maybe not all.
yeah.
Maybe it's certain APIs or things that it needs access to through the website or certain data.
Okay, it is called Boosts.
Mm.
Correcting myself right now. And there's like a gallery that they have where people have already gone through and made boosts for popular websites.
And you can just copy those.
Yeah, and then you can just like click them and then it will apply it to every time you go to that website, Arc will apply that styling to the website. It's kind of like a theme in Chrome, but for each website individually.
And it remembers it.
Yeah, so like there's some in here for like cute Gmail and it makes like your new message thing like a nice green, it's like a pastel colored Gmail.
Right. Very
Um,
customizable.
yeah,
Almost like,
Simplegram.
yeah,
So that's just like Instagram, but it's like matte black and white, and that's it. No colors.
very cool.
So it's cool. It's a cool feature. I haven't actually really explored this at all,
Mm.
which is, I feel like the problem and the amazing thing about Arc is that there's so many things that I
Yeah.
never even use in there, but they're there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say something that I think I noticed during the beta, and I think they were pretty open about it, is that they don't have ads. Like,
I haven't, I
necessarily,
haven't even
like,
noticed that.
there's ads on YouTube and such within
Yeah.
websites, but
Yeah.
like, Arc itself isn't like charging or, sorry, getting paid to promote anything
Yeah.
on their browser yet.
Which is, I don't know how they're making money.
That was going to be my question. How does
Because
a
it doesn't
browser
cost
like
money
this?
to have. Like, it's free. It's just a
Yeah,
browser. You
and there's a
just download
ton of
it.
employees, right?
Yeah,
a good
seems
number.
like it. Like, they have community managers and they have, like, people. Yeah, every time there's an update, there's, like, a whole written thing about this person did this developer did that. Like, so, well, I guess that's up to them to figure out how to make money, but
Yeah.
it's not our problem. But yeah, it's interesting. There's no ads.
And I guess another thing, this is what really intrigued me, was the ethos of their business was, I think their goal one day is to have, like, what did he call it? Like a cloud-based computer or something? I forget what it was called.
Oh.
But the CEO did some talk and he was like, the goal is here, all of the apps that you use on your computer, like Spotify, like Slack for messaging if you use it at work or something, all these apps that you download are also web-based apps.
Right.
So like you don't actually need to download them to use them.
Yeah, sure.
And that's why you have your favorites. That's why you have essentially mini app icons are your favorites.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
On the sidebar.
That makes sense.
And his goal or his idea was you would sign up, you would create your browser exactly as you want it. And then if you go away on a holiday and you have access to any computer, you just log into Arc, your normal account, and you have access to everything as you would see it back at home.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So that relies less on having your own computer, like your personal computer, whereas you would have your personal browser that is your computer.
Yeah, that does make sense because I am one of those people that so I use Notion a lot. We use Notion for work.
Yeah.
We use Notion for this.
Podcast.
But I download the Notion app. So instead of using the desktop, instead of using the web-based version of Notion, which they have, I download the Notion app because I like having, like, if I'm going to do something in Notion, I know it's not in my browser, it's in Notion. But that being said, I've been confused a few times because even the search function for Arc is the same as Mac.
Yeah.
It's like command space. Or it's actually, no, what is it? It's something else. It's slightly different, but it's very similar. And I've been, like, searching in Arc for things thinking that is Mac.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could pretty much do everything in here. I just have to, like, rewire my brain not to look for the app, but just look in everything in Arc.
And I think that's, like I said, that's their
his
goal.
Vision, so that makes sense.
His vision
Yeah.
is that you would have Arc open 24/7.
Yeah.
And your apps are on the side there and any tabs that you want to go into. Because another thing is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the favorites preload.
Yeah, correct.
So if you just switch between, say, 4 or 5 of your favorites, they're already loaded.
Yeah.
So
It'll,
there's
like,
no
automatically
load
cache
lag.
them. Yeah, so they load them a lot quicker rather than loading them new every time. They will do, like, refreshes every now and then.
Yeah, just
to keep things updated. And they also have, like, if you hover over them, it'll give you, so if, like, in Gmail, if you hover over your Gmail favorite, it'll show you, like, the most recent 2 emails that you've got in a little box right there. without having to click into anything,
That's so clever.
which is smart stuff like that. The only problem I do have with them, not them personally, the team, but with Arc itself, is that they don't have an Android app, which sucks. Thank you, Tashi. A
Roasting
producer
us.
just said that's a you problem, which is fine. And then they also they don't have a Windows version yet, which is fine. They're a startup. Like they'll get there eventually if they want to, but at the moment
should say
they do have an iPhone app.
They do have an iPhone app, but I downloaded it and I logged in. But because my iCloud storage is pretty much full,
classic, most people's stories,
I get a error message that just says full storage and I can't do anything.
Okay, so it only syncs with iCloud at the
I believe
moment.
so, yeah.
Okay.
It's not like independent.
And I assume that's a costing thing because it does it costs a lot of money to like host everyone's data somewhere in a server. So they'd just be using iCloud Sync to do that, which is why they can't have it on Windows, and makes sense.
Yeah.
I love it. I'd love an Android app though.
Yeah.
If you can, I'd pay for it. I'm not saying charge for it, but I'm saying I would pay for it. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's where it goes. It's like a small fee or even a subscription fee, month to month, to use Arc.
Now we're paying for our browsers.
Yeah. But it's like, it's everything in one. You can use whatever laptop or computer you have access to. All right. So something else that I've seen recently and something that I've seen a lot of is Fujifilm's X100V.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it used to be the X100F. But that's been discontinued.
Yeah.
Yep. Seen a lot of it.
Yep.
On TikTok, on Instagram, just as a workhorse among influencers and just every content creator on the planet.
Yep.
It's very expensive though.
It's
It's a lot.
I recently just went through this thing where I work for a creative agency now. My role is I still shoot and edit, and I still am passionate about that stuff. But I had a $3,000 Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K Pro, $3,500 camera just sitting at home like that I barely ever use because we have work. We have gear at work.
Yeah.
So I just went through this like big clean out. Like I need to make space for this new baby that's coming. Need to make space for I don't have space to use any of the gear at home anyway. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get rid of a bunch of it. So I sold a bunch of stuff. And then I have all this money from the stuff I just sold, which is meant to go to the baby. And I was like, I could buy a new camera, which is obviously not what I'm planning on doing. But in that process, I was like, I don't need to do it for work, but I want to kind of enjoy photography a bit more. And when you're doing it with like a mirrorless, I got a Canon EOS R, which I still have. I don't know, it just feels too like clinical. I don't know, clinical is the wrong word, but like I'm not trying to shoot for a job. I'm just trying to shoot for fun. I just want to take photos of my family, like of things that I like the look of like nice architecture. Like I don't want to I don't know, just too clean. Yeah. And you go one way and you're like, okay, well you go get a film camera. But I'm like, I can't be bothered doing any of that crap and like waiting for film to be developed.
And it's expensive.
And and like burning money on film that I'll just then turn into digital so I can post on Instagram anyway. So I was like, what's the middle ground here? And I started looking into Fuji because Fuji has incredible like film emulation in camera effect stuff. And I was like, okay, well, there's this camera that I keep hearing about called the X100V. And I was like, can't be that much. It's fixed lens. Yeah. It's got a 22mm fixed lens, an APS-C camera. It's almost $3,000, which is nuts. So the long and short of it is I want to buy one, but I also don't because I want to buy one because I just want a camera that I can grab and go and take photos and not have to think about it. But I also don't want to buy one because it seems ridiculous to spend almost $3,000 on a camera that I can't even change the lens on. Like if I wanted to shoot at 75 mils, I couldn't. Yeah. Because it's impossible.
Yeah, and I think other mirrorless cameras, same sort of size, either Sony's or other, pretty sure you could get them around the same price. You might have to spend a bit more on a lens, but at least you're like the quality, it's full frame. It's like all these other things are leaps and bounds ahead of the Fujifilm. But I guess it is those simulations that are great.
Yeah, and for most of the content I'm watching, because I watched a lot of reviews about it last night, is that most people like really enjoy it because it's for some people it's a creative challenge.
Mm.
Like having the camera that you cannot change the lens on means that, so it's APS-C 22mm lens, so it's actually close to like 35.
Yeah.
But having a 35mm lens permanently attached to your camera means that if you want to get a shot and you're too far away, you have to get closer. You have to figure out something else. Like there's challenging elements to it other than just like, oh, put another lens on and, then I can be closer. And it makes you think more, which I like the idea of. And I like the idea of just like most people use it in auto. They don't shoot manual because it's just good in auto. Like they just chuck it in auto, add a film emulation that they like the look of, and just take photos. And one of the biggest kind of like exciting factors about most people is that they just shoot in JPEG and then they just get it off their camera onto their phone and then that's the photos.
Yeah.
They're not like bring it to Lightroom, which I feel like takes the fun away from it when I'm shooting photos. Is like I don't like editing the photos all the time. I just want them to be nice, which is why I just use my phone most of the time because I'm like, it's there in my pocket and then the photos are there on my phone.
Yeah, and it sort of does a bit of editing for you. So it saves it.
Yeah, and then on top of all of that, the camera itself is like has real buttons and dials and
it's very
like
tactile.
machined aluminium and I don't know. I'm really excited about it, but I don't want to get caught up in the hype of just getting it because everyone keeps saying it's fantastic because it is a camera from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not amazing specs and you could get a better camera for the same price. Like you get a better camera for the same price, but is a better camera better just because it's better on paper or is because it is actually better for what you want it for?
Yeah. I've definitely been sitting in the same boat. I have an old Sony A7R2, quite a few generations old now. Bought it soon after release, so it was pretty pricey then. It's definitely come down since, but the latest versions of the 7Rs are $4,000, $5,000, whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
It just sits at home. My camera, I don't get it out all the time. When we're doing photo shoots with my fiance and her business, I definitely get it out and I'm using that. And then that doesn't happen all the time. That's only when there's seasonal photo shoots and content shoots. But I just want to have a camera that I can quickly grab out and take a photo. Like you said, point shoot, take a photo. That's why I use my phone. Most of the stuff on Instagram, except with the exception of a couple, are all on my phone.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Phone cameras are really good.
Yeah.
The best camera is the one they have with you.
But I do love the tactile feel of a camera, like a physical camera, not necessarily just hearing the shutter, but all the buttons that you can press and switch.
Yeah. And someone described it as a glorified point and shoot, basically, this X100V.
Especially on auto.
Yeah, because like you're not doing anyone could just pick it up and use it. Yeah. But I think that's what makes it exciting to think about using. It's because of its styling, it doesn't look intimidating for people. If you're taking photos at like a family barbecue or around the pool or whatever, or like hanging out with people, they're not like, why has this guy got his like $5,000 cinema camera out trying to take a photo of me? It's just like
200mm lens.
Oh, it's a film camera.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't even know. You're like, oh, I can't show you. Sorry, I have to get the photos developed. Like, but yeah, I think it's like disarming, which is why I want to get one. But I know I really shouldn't spend that much money on a camera right now.
Before we wrap it up, do they have other options? Because yes, that Fujifilm is great, but there are so many other great models in their range. But do they have a cheaper option, even if it doesn't have all of those film simulations? For the most part, people use one anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Fuji's base, color, base, like everything.
Yeah.
Their science is great.
All of their color science is really good. And I definitely looked at other options above that price, which is just my problem.
Did you go below
but
that price?
I didn't look anything below that price. And I probably should, because if what I'm after is something that's quick and easy to use, everything above that price is actually just going back to like, you just have to buy lenses for it. You have to buy FX lenses, Fuji lenses for it. And then it's like, okay, well, you're in the same system. Part of the joy of the X100V, I think, for people that have talked about it, is that it's like, it's portable. Like it's small. You just grab it, chuck it in your bag, take a photo. You don't have to like worry about a lens. Oh, I want to change this lens. So I never look down. I should look down. I've gotta
Definitely
look
check it out
down.
because something that I've recently done since watching the recent Batman, and
Yeah.
even a little bit before,
Yeah.
there was a YouTuber that really got me into this. But I wanted to buy a lens, cheap lens, and just like have it be a throw around lens,
Mm.
not worry about it being $3,000 and not getting it,
Yeah.
dropping it. Not like
Yeah.
I like the raw and even the imperfections in it,
Mm.
especially in Batman. They specifically
Mm.
filmed on lenses that were
Yeah,
damaged
that's right. Yeah,
and
damage,
broken
yeah.
lenses. So it had a certain look, it had a certain focus, it couldn't reach focus at times.
Yeah.
All of these things, and it just gave it a bit of character.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I don't want a blurry shot
Yeah.
every
yeah.
time,
No,
but
character's
just a
nice.
light, cheaper camera or lens.
Yeah.
Just to throw around and, like you said, just take a photo. It's more for the art, less of the pristine quality.
Yeah, it's about the journey. And then the last thing I'll say is that I tried to do that with my Canon R,
Mm.
and I bought I think it was a Pentax, like an old Pentax, like a 35mm,
Mm.
with like none of it's auto. It's all manual iris, manual everything. And I have just recently put that on my camera, and I'm like, I'll just use this if I want to take a photo. I'm like, it's a fixed lens now. Like, I'm not gonna let myself change lenses. The problem is, I still get too clean an image out of the camera
Because it's too
which is
good.
never a problem I thought I would have.
Mm.
But it's like I need to like just peg the camera at a wall or something, or like,
Yeah.
not the camera, the lens.
Yeah.
You know, bash it up a bit so I get some character in there. But
That's it.
yeah, that's my small rant about wanting to buy a camera that I shouldn't.
We'll do our research.
Yeah, I'll come back with some options. Okay, our final topic for today.
Mm.
Before we get into patch notes,
Yep.
which we have one that we're sharing today.
Mm.
But before we get there, very quickly, Disney's giving up on DVDs. Did you hear about this?
I didn't hear about this.
And Blu-rays.
And Blu-rays. Okay.
Correct. So the last movie, this is in Australia at least.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not in the US right now, but in Australia, if you have a DVD player still, probably not watching this.
Yeah.
Do you know what the internet is? No, just kidding.
Go to YouTube?
That's rude. We have a DVD player. It's called an Xbox.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you have a DVD player and you really like Disney, get Disney Plus, because you will not be able to watch any Disney movies ever again after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's the last movie they're producing on DVD in Australia.
Is it out on DVD and Blu-ray currently?
It's out on Disney Plus, so I assume so, yes.
I've seen that. Okay. Because, I know this would cost a lot of money.
Way
DVDs
too much money, yeah.
cost way too much money. And Blu-rays cost way too much money.
For the amount of people that would be buying them these days, there's no way that that's worth them continuing to do that. Not only the cost of them having to do it, but the environmental impact of what happens with all of those DVDs that never get sold and probably just get like thrown into a landfill or something.
Yeah, and it's not even just the DVD. It's the plastic case,
the little
the paper booklet or whatever
Yeah.
that's wrapped around it. It's such a waste.
So, I mean, this is just like more like everything going digital, but I think this is actually probably a good call.
Yeah, I think it's probably better.
Probably a smart move.
You'd probably find most of their customers already have Disney Plus anyway.
Yeah.
And the people that want the DVD or the Blu-ray are people like myself that bought. I would go and buy, say, Lord of the Rings in Blu-ray or
That's what I was going to
Blade Runner and Blu-ray.
What was the last probably a Blu-ray, because I imagine you bought a Blu-ray last rather than DVD.
Yeah.
What was the last Blu-ray you bought? I know mine.
So the last one I bought would have been Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner, like the director's cut, everything, or I think it had all the versions of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one I bought, but that was a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been gifted the Lord of the Rings Blu-ray set.
Me too.
Because I asked for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good gift. That's what I bought for myself for one of my
Good
birthdays
gift.
just recently. It was like 2 years ago or something. And that was the last Blu-ray I've ever bought. So there you go.
Yeah.
Worth it. But see you, Disney.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, to finish it off, patch notes.
Let's do
Back
it.
at it again. This week, or I think it was last week actually, I saw Ben Marriott released a video.
Yep.
Great guy, great YouTuber. Check him out.
Mm-hmm.
The best of animation 2023, is it?
Yeah, best animations of 2023 so far.
Yeah.
Was the title of the video.
And it was essentially just a collection of great animations from various studios, agencies, designers, animators, like just a group of people
Mm-hmm.
doing their work, and he just compiled it and presented it and talked through their processes and just showed it off. He just wanted to show
Yeah.
their greatness, really.
Yep.
And I quite enjoyed it. A lot of those I'd seen, but some I hadn't. There was some really cool ones in there. There was some art style one where it was, I think they hand drew the frames,
Yeah.
scanned it scanned it digitally, and then laid that into whatever editor they used,
And then re-stretched
stretched
the
it.
original footage that they captured
Yeah.
across the frames that they'd drawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then it like created this really cool hand drawn, obviously, technique
Yeah.
with like all the nuances of actual hand drawing on paper, and it was just incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. And we're doing a bit of a combined patch notes this week because I just liked it too much to I just wanted to pick one of the videos that he mentions in there out, or two actually. So the first one in the video is the design studio Buck.
Mm-hmm.
They
Love
did a
'em.
video for GitHub, and it's just really nice, like clean. It's all these different styles of animation kind of coming together, and it combines like 2D flat animation and 3D animation and real life footage into like this one ad for GitHub, and it's awesome. And then the second one was this like using textures, like it would like turn normal office or like home decor items like a water bottle and like expand it and blow it up and turn it into like a vase. Do you remember that one?
I do, yes.
It was
Yeah.
like it would like blow up and then like
Was
turn
that
into
Buck again?
Was that Buck?
Someone else.
It's called Creative Studio. But that video was really good, and like we'll link all this stuff below. But go watch Ben Marriott's video because he's got all of them there, and then all of them linked below. But that was really nice, the way that the textures and stuff looked, and it was all done in 3D, but it looked so real, like tactile.
Yeah.
So
It's
it was
a
awesome.
great collection of stuff. Go check it out. Definitely recommend all of his stuff.
Thanks for listening. This podcast has been recorded at Pyrmont Studios in Pyrmont. Our Creatively Random theme music was beautifully crafted by Scott Baker. And if you want to get in touch or follow us on Instagram, you can go to @creativelyrandom or go to creativelyrandom.com. And if you want to send us a message, you can do that as well, or contact us via Instagram. We're so stoked that you listen to the show, and if you have anything else that we should taste test, let us know. Just as a hint, I don't like spice, but I will do almost anything for entertainment. I will not eat a bunch of coriander. I swear to you, I will die.
Bit extreme, but maybe.
Just a bushel of coriander. Anyway, thanks so much. We'll see you next episode.
See ya.